1874, MDCCCCLXXIV, was a common year starting on Thursday of the Gregorian calendar and a common year starting on Tuesday of the Julian calendar, the 1874th year of the Common Era, CE, and Anno Domini, AD, designations, the 874th year of the second millennium, the 74th year of the 19th century, and the 5th year of the 1870s decade. As of the start of 1874, the Gregorian calendar was 12 days ahead of the Julian calendar, which remained in localized use until 1923. January, the Pankar Treaty, also known as the Pankar Engagement, by which the British extended their control over first the Sultanate of Perak, and later the other independent Malay states, is signed. January 1st, New York City annexes the Bronx. January 2nd, Ignacio Maria Gonzalez becomes head of state of the Dominican Republic for the first time. January 3rd, Third Carlist War, Battle of Caspe, campaigning on the Ebro and Aragon for the Spanish Republican government. Colonel Eulogio Despujol surprises a Carlist force under Manuel Marco de Bello at Caspe, northeast of Alcañiz. In a brilliant action, the Carlists are routed, losing 200 prisoners and 80 horses, while Despujol is promoted to brigadier and becomes Comte de Caspe. January 23rd. Prince Alfred, Duke of Edinburgh, second son of Queen Victoria, marries Grand Duchess Maria Alexandrovna of Russia, only daughter of Tsar Alexander III of Russia. Camille Saint-Saëns' composition Danse Macabre receives its premiere. February 21st, the Oakland Daily Tribune publishes its first issue. February 23rd, Walter Clopton Winfield patents a game called Sphäristike, which is more commonly called lawn tennis. February 24th to 25th, Third Carlist War, First Battle of Soamarostro, determined to raise the siege of Bilbao by the pretender Don Carlos VII, Republican Commander Marshal Francisco Serrano sends General Domingo Morrions with a relief force of 14,000 men. Carlists, under General Nicolas Allo, entrenched at Soamarostro outside Bilbao, drive back a courageous assault by General Fernando Primo de Rivera and then the entire Republican army. The Republicans lose 1,200 men, and Morrions loses his nerve, demanding reinforcements and a replacement for himself. Morrions, men entrench and wait. March 14th, Third Carlist War, Battle of Castellfollit de la Roca, appointed to command the Spanish Republican Army in the north, General Ramon Novellas attempts to relieve the Carlist siege of Olot in Girona. But at Castellfollit de la Roca, in one of the government's worst defeats, Novellas is routed by Carlist General Francesc Savals, and captured along with about 2,000 of his men. Olot capitulates 2 days later. March 15th, France and Vietnam sign the Second Treaty of Saigon, further recognizing the full sovereignty of France over Cochinchina. March 18th. Hawaii signs a treaty with the United States, granting exclusive trading rights. The Dresden English Football Club is founded, the first soccer club on the European mainland. March 25th to 27th, Third Carlist War, Second Battle of Soamarostro, in a renewed attempt to raise the siege of Bilbao by Don Carlos VII, Republican Commander Marshal Francisco Serrano himself arrives with 27,000 men and 70 cannon. However, in 3 days of fierce fighting, the Carlist General Joaquim Elio, with just 17,000 men, once again drives off the attack at nearby Soamarostro, and it is another 6 weeks before Serrano manages to relieve Bilbao. March, the Young Men's Hebrew Association in Manhattan, which still operates today as the 92nd Street Y, is founded. April 15th to May 15th, a group of young painters, Société Anonyme Coopérative d'Artistes, Peintres, Sculptors, Graveurs, gives their first exhibition, at the studio of the photographer Nada in Paris. Louis Leroy's critical review of it published on April 25th gives rise to the term Impressionism for the movement, with reference to Claude Monet's impression, Sunrise. May 2nd, Third Carlist War, Siege of Bilbao, the siege is lifted. May 9th, the first commercial horse-drawn carriage debuts in the city of Bombay, plying 2 routes. May 20th, Levi Strauss and Jacob Davis receive a U.S. patent for blue jeans, with copper rivets. The price is $13.50 per dozen. May 27th, the first group of Dorsland trekkers, a series of expeditions by Trekboer in search of political independence and better farming conditions, departs South Africa to settle in Angola, led by Gert Alberts. June 14th, Michel Noming becomes head of state of Haiti. June 22nd, Andrew Taylor still starts the movement for osteopathic medicine in the United States at Kirksville, Missouri. June 25 to June 27, Third Carlist War, Battle of Monte Nero, Carlist forces entrenched around Abarzuza, on the approach to Estella in Navarre, repel an attack by Isabelino/liberal, supporters of Queen Isabella II, troops led by General Manuel Gutierrez de la Concha, Marquez del Duero, who was killed on the third day of fighting. July 1. The Universal Postal Union is established. The Philadelphia Zoo opens, the first public zoo in the United States. The Scholes and Glidden typewriter, with cylindrical platen and QWERTY keyboard, is first marketed in the United States. The Bank of Spain emits the first peseta banknotes. Hakashima Teacher Training School, as predecessor of Hiroshima University, was founded in Japan. July 14, the Chicago Fire of 1874 burns down 47 acres of the city, destroying 812 buildings, killing 20, and resulting in the fire insurance industry demanding municipal reforms from Chicago City Council. July 23, Harris de Ornelas y Vasconcelos is appointed Archbishop of the Portuguese colonial enclave of Goa. July 24, Matthew Evans and Henry Woodward patent the first incandescent lamp, with an electric light bulb. Third Carlist War, sack of Cuenca, after Carlist forces successfully defend Estella, Don Alfonso de Bourbon, brother of the Don Carlos VII, leads 14,000 Catalan Carlists south to attack Cuenca, 136 kilometers from Madrid, held by Republicans under Don Hilario Lozano. After 2 days the outnumbered garrison capitulates, but Don Alfonso permits a terrible slaughter. The city is sacked. Subsequently, another Republican force defeats the disorderly Catalans, who flee back to the Ebro. July 31, Patrick Francis Healy, S.J., the first black man to receive a Ph.D., is inaugurated as president of Georgetown University, the oldest Catholic university in America, and becomes the first black person to head a predominantly white university. August 11, Third Carlist War, Battle of Oteiza, 2 months after government forces were repulsed from Carlist-held Estella, in Navarre, Republican General Domingo Morales makes a fresh diversionary attack a few miles to the southeast at Oteiza. In heavy fighting, Morales secures a costly tactical victory over Carlist General Torquato Mendiri, but the war continues another 18 months, before Estella finally falls. September 9, Captain Lyman's wagon train besieged by Indians in Hemphill County, Texas. September 14, Battle of Liberty Place, in New Orleans, former Confederate Army members of the White League temporarily drive Republican Governor William P. Kellogg from office, replacing him with former Democratic Governor John McHenry. U.S. Army troops restore Kellogg to office 5 days later. September 28, Texas Indian Wars, U.S. Army Colonel Ranald S. McKenzie leads his force of 600 men on the successful raid of the last sanctuary of the Kiowa, Comanche, and Cheyenne Indian tribes, a village inside the Palo Duro Canyon in Texas, and carries out their removal to the designated Indian reservations in Oklahoma. October 9, the Treaty of Berne establishes the General Postal Union, to coordinate the exchange of international mail. October 19, the modern University of Zagreb is founded in Zagreb. November 2, the first issue of Japanese-language newspaper Yomiuri Shimbun is published in Tokyo, Japan. November 4, Democrats gain control of the United States House of Representatives for the first time since 1860. November 6, the University of Adelaide is founded in Adelaide, Australia. November 7, Harper's Weekly publishes a cartoon by Thomas Mast which is the first use of an elephant as a symbol for the Republican Party in the United States. November 9, the New York Zoo hoax, a supposed breakout of animals from the Central Park Zoo, is perpetrated on the public. November 10, John Ernst Worrell Keeley demonstrates his induction resonance motion motor, a perpetual motion machine, which eventually turns out to be a fraud. November 11, the Gamma Phi Beta sorority is founded at Syracuse University. This is the first women's Greek letter organization to be called a sorority. November 16, premiere of Alfred Sellier's comic opera The Sultan of Mocha at the Prince's Theatre, Manchester. November 18, sailing ship Cospatrick carrying immigrants from England bound for New Zealand, catches fire and sinks in the South Atlantic with the loss of all but 3 of the 472 persons on board. November 25, the United States Greenback Party is established as a political party, made primarily of farmers financially hurt by the Panic of 1873. December 1, Iceland is granted a constitution and limited home rule from Denmark. December 29, General Martinez and Brigadier General Wisdaban stage a pronunciamiento at Sagunta and proclaim Isabel's son Alfonso as King of Spain. Subsequently, the Madrid garrison follows suit, and the First Spanish Republic comes to an end. The Agra Canal opens in India. St. Nicholas Church, Hamburg, designed by English architect George Gilbert Scott, is completed. Its 147 meters, 482 feet, tall spire makes it, briefly, and by 5 m, the world's tallest building, a title held since 1647 by Strasbourg Cathedral. The House of Keys, lower house of the Tynwald, the legislature of the Isle of Man, moves from Castletown to Douglas. Charles Taze Russell and the Bible student movement claim this year marks the invisible return of Jesus Christ to earth. Gold is discovered in the Black Hills. DDT is first synthesized. The San Diego Natural History Museum is founded. The following association football clubs are founded in Great Britain: Aston Villa, Bolton Wanderers, as Christchurch FC, Greenock Morton, Heart of Midlothian. English chemist C.R. Alderright synthesizes heroin for the first time. The Supreme Council 33 degrees ancient and accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry of Canada is founded. The medieval Frankish tower on the Acropolis of Athens is demolished. Schindler, as well known for elevator, escalator, moving walkway brand and worldwide, founded in Switzerland. January 1, Gustav Albin Weisskopf, German-born aviation pioneer, died in 1927. January 4, Joseph Suk, Czech composer, violinist, died in 1935. January 5, Joseph Erlanger, American physiologist, Nobel Prize laureate, died in 1965. January 10, Stefan Burlianu, Romanian general, engineer, inventor, and academic, died in 1951. January 12, Marta Anawiecka, Polish Roman Catholic religious professed and blessed, died in 1904. January 13, Alexandros Hatzikyriakos, Greek admiral, politician, died in 1958. January 16, Robert W. Service, American poet, died in 1958. January 20, Steve Bloomer, English footballer, cricketer, and baseball player, died in 1938. January 21, Frederick Madison Smith, American religious leader, author, died in 1946. January 25, William Somerset Maugham, English author, died in 1965. January 28, Vsevolod Meyerhold, Russian theater practitioner, died in 1940. Gheorghe Ionescu, two-time Prime Minister of Romania, died in 1949. January 29, John D. Rockefeller Jr., American entrepreneur, died in 1960. February 1, Hugo von Hofmannsthal, Austrian writer, died in 1929. February 2, William T. Innes, American writer, ichthyologist, publisher, died in 1969. February 3, Gertrude Stein, American writer, patron of the arts, died in 1946. February 6, Henry C. Mustin, American naval aviation pioneer, died in 1923. February 7, Nikifor Begichev, Soviet seaman and explorer, died in 1927. February 9, Amy Lowell, American poet, died in 1925. February 11, Elsa Bisko, Swedish writer, died in 1953. Fritz Hart, English-born composer, died in 1949. February 15, Sir Ernest Shackleton, Irish explorer, died in 1922. February 17, Thomas J. Watson, American computer pioneer, died in 1956. February 19, Max Adelbert, German actor, died in 1933. Carl Stockdale, American actor, died in 1953. February 20, Mary Garden, American opera soprano of Scots descent, some sources state her birth year is 1877, died in 1967. February 23, Konstantin Pats, Estonian president, died in 1956. February 24, Honus Wagner, American baseball player, died in 1955. February 26, Nikolai Korotkov, Russian surgeon, died in 1920. March 4, Stephen Victor Graham, United States Navy Rear Admiral and 18th Governor of American Samoa, died in 1955. March 5, Henry Travers, English actor, died in 1965. March 12, Charles Weedman, American restaurateur, owner of Chicago Cubs, died in 1938. March 16, Frederic François Marcel, Prime Minister of France, died in 1958. March 20, Boris von Munchausen, German poet, died in 1945. March 24, Luigi Einaudi, second President of Italy, died in 1961. Harry Houdini, Hungarian-born magician, died in 1926. March 26, Robert Frost, American poet, died in 1963. March 29, Lou Henry Hoover, First Lady of the United States, died in 1944. March 30, Charles Herbert Lightoller, second officer of the RMS Titanic, died in 1952. Nicolae Radescu, 45th Prime Minister of Romania, died in 1953. April 8, Stanislav Tagzak, Polish general, commander-in-chief of the Greater Poland Uprising, died in 1960. April 15, Johannes Stark, German physicist, Nobel Prize laureate, died in 1957. April 19, Ernst Rudin, Swiss psychiatrist, geneticist, died in 1952. April 25, Guglielmo Marconi, Italian inventor, recipient of the Nobel Prize in Physics, died in 1937. April 28, Sidney Toler, American actor, playwright, and theater director, died in 1947. May 3, François Coty, French perfume manufacturer, died in 1934. May 7, Ilmari Kianto, Finnish poet, died in 1970. May 9, Howard Carter, British archaeologist, died in 1939. May 14, Paul, French actress, singer, died in 1939. May 17, Mikhail Diderix, Russian general, died in 1937. May 18, Anna Boschek, Austrian politician, died in 1957. May 19, Gilbert Jessup, English cricketer, died in 1955. May 22, Daniel Francois Mallon, 4th Prime Minister of South Africa, died in 1959. May 26, Henry Farman, pioneer French pilot, aircraft designer, died in 1958. May 27, Dustin Farnham, American actor, died in 1929. May 29, G.K. Chesterton, English author, died in 1936. June 11, Lyman Gilmore, American aviation pioneer, died in 1951. June 16, Arthur Meehan, 9th Prime Minister of Canada, died in 1960. June 17, Grant Mitchell, American actor, died in 1957. June 18, King George Tupatou of Tonga, died in 1918. June 19, Peter Alef Pedersen, Danish engineer, physicist, died in 1941. July 3, Richard B. Bennett, 11th Prime Minister of Canada, died in 1947. July 4, Maloko Temo, South African supercentenarian, died in 2009. July 5, Eugen Fischer, German professor of medicine, anthropology, and eugenics, died in 1967. July 6, Isaias de Noronha, 13th President of Brazil, died in 1963. July 14, Abbas II, last Khedive of Egypt, died in 1944. July 25, Alfred Walton Hines, 17th Naval Governor of Guam, died in 1957. July 26, Tufton Beamish, British admiral and politician, died in 1951. Serge Koussevitzky, Russian conductor, died in 1951. July 27, Frank Shannon, American actor, died in 1959. July 29, J.S. Woodsworth, Canadian politician, died in 1942. August 1, Constantine Levidite, Romanian physician and microbiologist, died in 1953. August 6, Charles Fort, Dutch-American writer, researcher into anomalous phenomena, died in 1932. August 8, Albert Stanley, first Baron Ashfield, British-American businessman, died in 1948. August 10, Herbert Hoover, 31st President of the United States, died in 1964. Jerome Nami, Japanese General, Governor-General of Korea, 1936 to 1942, died in 1955. Todd Sloan, American jockey, died in 1933, August 27. Karl Bosch, German chemist, Nobel Prize laureate, died in 1940. September 12. Paul Kuhn, German operatic tenor, died in 1966. Redcliffe and Solomon, British botanist, died in 1955. September 13. Henry Fountain Ashurst, American politician, died in 1962. Arnold Schoenberg, Austrian composer, died in 1951. August 14. Bertha Ann Wilson, American dramatist, critic, and actress, died in 1936. September 21. Gustav Holst, English composer, died in 1934. September 23. Ernst Strerowitz, 6th Chancellor of Austria, died in 1952. October 3. Charles B. Middleton, American actor, died in 1949. October 8. Istvan Bethlen, 28th Prime Minister of Hungary, died in 1946. October 10. Jadwiga Zajubinska, Polish politician, died in 1937. October 8. Nance O'Neill, stage and film actress, friend of Lizzie Borden, died in 1965. October 9. Nicholas Roerich, Russian painter, died in 1947. October 13. Josef Klekel, Slovene politician in Hungary, died in 1948. October 15. Prince Alfred of Edinburgh and Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, died in 1899. October 17. Lumsden Hare, Irish-born actor, theater director, and producer, died in 1964. October 18. Christine Murrell, English medical doctor, first female member of the British Medical Association's Central Council, died in 1933. October 20. Charles Ives, American composer, died in 1954. October 26. Martin Lowry, English chemist, died in 1936. November 1. Salim Ahmed Chanba, Sultan of Mohili, died in 1964. November 13. Henry Coker, American stage, screen actor, died in 1947. November 14. Johann Schober, 3rd Chancellor of Austria, died in 1932. November 15. August Krogh, Danish zoophysiologist, recipient of the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, died in 1949. November 27. Chaim Weizmann, first President of Israel, died in 1952. November 29. Antonio Egas Moniz, Portuguese physician and neurologist, recipient of the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine, died in 1955. November 30. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, recipient of the Nobel Prize in Literature, died in 1965. Lucy Maud Montgomery, Canadian author, died in 1942. Friedrich Hosnerl, Austrian physicist, died in 1915. December 7. James L. Kraft, Canadian-American entrepreneur, inventor, died in 1953. December 11. Paul Wegener, German actor, film director, and screenwriter, one of the pioneers of German Expressionism, died in 1948. December 13. Joseph Levin, Russian pianist, died in 1944. December 17. William Lyon Mackenzie King, 10th Prime Minister of Canada, died in 1950. December 22. Franz Schmidt, Austrian composer, died in 1939. December 26. Khan Bahadur Hasanullah, Indian educationist, philosopher, philanthropist, social reformer, Sufi thinker, scientist, and spiritual person, died in 1965. December 29. Thomas W. Benoist, American aviator, aircraft designer, and manufacturer, founder of the world's first scheduled airline, died in 1917. Cecil Hunter Rodwell, British colonial administrator, died in 1953. Margaret G. Hayes, turn-of-the-century American female comics writer, artist, died in 1925. January 8. Abbé Charles Étienne Brassard de Bourbourg, French writer, historian, born in 1814. January 14. Johann Philipp Reis, German scientist, inventor, born in 1834. January 17, Chang and Bunker, Siamese twins, sideshow performers, born in 1811. January 19, August Heinrich Hoffmann von Fallersleben, German poet, born in 1798. January 28, Ludwig von Gablenz, Austrian general, born in 1814. February 3, William Charles Lunalilo, last monarch of the House of Kamehameha, born in 1835. February 8, David Friedrich Strauss, German theologian, born in 1808. February 24, John Bachman, American Lutheran minister, social activist, and naturalist, born in 1790. February 27, Carlos Manuel de Cespedes, Cuban revolutionary hero, born in 1819. March 8, Millard Fillmore, 74, 13th President of the United States, born in 1800. March 10, Moritz von Jacobi, German engineer, physicist, born in 1801. March 11, Charles Sumner, American senator, civil rights activist, born in 1811. March 20, Hans Christian Lumbeyer, Danish composer, born in 1810. April 13, Ito Shimpiai, Japanese statesman, executed, born in 1834. April 20, Alexander H. Daly, American politician, born in 1807. June 17, Sir Stephen Glynn, British antiquary and politician, born in 1817. June 20, John Ruggles, American politician, born in 1789. June 21, Anders Jonas Engström, Swedish physicist, born in 1814. July 8, Agnes Strickland, English popular historian, born in 1796. July 12, Fritz Reuter, German novelist, born in 1810. July 24, Gisbert Hahn, Dutch-American religious leader, born in 1801. August 14, Jonathan Clarkson Gibbs, African-American minister, politician, born in 1821. August 26, Julie Victoire Dauby, French journalist, born in 1824. August 27, Stefan Gălescu, 8th Prime Minister of Romania, born in 1809. September 12, François Guizot, Prime Minister of France, born in 1787. October 5, Charles Matthias Simons, Prime Minister of Luxembourg, born in 1802. October 6, Samuel Emkeer, American oil magnate, born in 1813. October 23, Abraham Geiger, German rabbi, a founder of European Reform Judaism, born in 1810. October 28, William Henry Reinhardt, American sculptor, born in 1825. November 17, Francisco de Lersundi y Hormiquia, Spanish noble and politician, Prime Minister of Spain, born in 1817. November 18, Sir Henry Prescott, British admiral and colonial administrator, born in 1783. November 29, Ioan Manu, Russian politician, born in 1803. December 7, Konstantin von Tistendorf, German biblical scholar, born in 1815. December 22, Johann Peter Pixus, German pianist, composer, born in 1788. References